Hey everybody, you got the Hobby Drifter here again. It is Monday, December 13th, 2021, here in what is a beautiful day here in Tokyo, Japan. Not hot, not cold, just very nice temperature, beautiful sunny day. The sky was so clear you could see all the way to Mount Fuji. Just a wonderful day in the middle of December that makes you kind of worried about the state of the world in the future. But that's a problem for after this. How did I spend my beautiful day? I spent my beautiful day, for once, not thinking about work, and for the first time in what seems like months, I got to do a full book-off dive. I took the express train to Kawasaki. Kawasaki City has two of the best book-offs you will ever go to. There's one right next to Kawasaki Station, and one station down in Minato-cho, and they are excellent book-offs for totally different reasons. And if travel ever opens up again and you are able to visit either or both of these, it is very much worth your time if you're into buying the stuff like what I'm about to show you. So first, let me show you the stuff from Kawasaki's book-off. Start with some video game stuff. I know you can't see it because the title is completely covered by the label, which is something that I do believe that maybe disgruntled book-off employees do intentionally, putting the sticker in the place that would obscure something that is very important. But it is Card and Puzzle Collection Ginga, which is simply a collection of card games and puzzles for the Game Boy. It was released 1989 or 1990. This is a fairly nice boxed copy, even though they do warn on the label that there is some damage to the box. But I don't know, I absolutely love boxed original Game Boy games. These smaller ones especially were just so cool. I never got to see these in secondhand stores when I was living in the U.S. because who the hell keeps their old Game Boy game boxes? A lot of Japanese kids did. A lot of Japanese kids did. But these are not these. This is the first time I've ever seen this one specifically. But boxed Game Boy stuff, boxed older game stuff in general is just disappearing from the places I go. Where it used to be not fully half, but I mean you would see tons of boxed, Famicom, Super Famicom, Game Boy stuff, and not anymore. But speaking of stuff that I don't see very often, I got this. It's Super WrestleMania for the Super Famicom. It's a boxed version. It is complete, although it does warn that the box is damaged. You can see here some of the check marks and stuff to look out for. Top one is the manual is missing. The face part has some scratches. This is other, and like the included premiums are not there. Just stuff to watch out for. It just says this is other. So there's Itami, which is there's some scratches and damage to it. A couple of years ago, I went back to the U.S. And I gave a friend of mine, huge wrestling fan, a fairly nice boxed copy of the Famicom wrestling game with Hogan on it. So if I ever get a chance, if travel ever opens up again in my lifetime, I'm looking forward to giving him this, because I don't need it. I'm a big enough wrestling fan, but I don't need this in my collection. From Acclaim Japan Limited, and obviously not expensive. It was less than $3, but it's something you don't see very often, or at least I don't. Then we get on some things that I was just super excited about. A little while back when I did my Evangelion manga video, where I spent a couple of months trying to put together a complete collection of all of the original Kadokawa manga. There was one little asterisk. You know, I collected all 14 regular volumes. I collected the Christmas volumes, the ones with like the little figurines, the special editions of 13 and 14. But the special edition of 14 came. I was able to get it. It was it was super hard to find a copy, like at all, after the Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time, nice title, came out. The manga was super hard to find, and the final volumes were just gone. And on Amazon, prices were sky high. So I got one that was in nice shape, complete, except it was missing one of the accessories for the special edition. And that accessory was this. And it is a stand for the 14 volumes of the manga. And the sides have the cover art from the 14 volumes of the manga with, it says complete here, and complete comic rack. Obviously this will not hold everything, all of the various special editions as well, but it will display all of the regular manga, which is nice. I mean, I already have something to display the Eva manga on. It's called a shelf, but this is cool, and I don't see stuff like this getting sold at Book-Off. I very, very rarely see them just sell accessories. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see them sell the manga without the accessories, but selling the accessories without the manga is something I very, very rarely see. But I just kind of resigned myself to not having this, because I wasn't going to buy the whole thing again just to get that. But hey, here it was, and it was only 500 yen. Only 500 yen for this thing that I really never thought I'd have, and excited to fill it up with the manga, because this is really, really cool, and I love Yoshiyuki Sadamoto's artwork, and any way I can have it in another form is A-okay with me. And speaking of stuff you don't expect Book-Off to sell, and by you I mean me, okay. This is a boxed set of Bruce Springsteen concert bootlegs. It was released unofficially. It's straight up illegal. It was released unofficially by a company called Templar in Italy in 1990. I am a big Bruce Springsteen fan. I am not the biggest Bruce Springsteen fan. That would probably be my parents. But this is cool. Like, this is something you don't, I mean, it's it's rare as hell. I did a little search. There's a copy on eBay where they want like $500 for it. But it's 5 CDs, the spines make up an American flag, and it's recordings from 1971 through 1982. And it's fucking illegal. It's a counterfeit. Like, Book-Off might as well have been selling these as CDRs. I don't know how the hell they managed to even get this on the shelf. There's no US whatever the hell UPC code or anything. I can't believe this was there, but I'm really looking forward to listening to 5 CDs of 70s and 80s Springsteen concerts. That's cool as hell. Was on the shelf for 1,500 yen, which is about $15 US, and fucking cool. I don't know what else to say. When I went out today, hoping to buy myself some nerd happiness. Didn't expect to come across this 5 CD bootleg set from the boss. So cool. Gives me hope that maybe one of these days I'll find the Ozzy Osbourne unofficial Headless Dove CD, and Jesus, if I can get it for this price, whew, that would just make my day. That would do my little nerd heart good. So that's all from the Kawasaki Book-Off. Then I went over to the Minato Book-Off, and I got this little guy. It's only 110 yen, and it's a little PVC figure of Combattler V. I mentioned in an earlier video that one of these days I was hoping to add the Soul of Chogokin version to my robot collection, because I like how the character looks. I don't know anything about the story or anything like that. I just think it's a cool looking thing. But until I can add that to my collection, I got this little guy. And one of the big things that I picked up was Headmaster Targetmaster Windblade. And this was really cool. They had some fantastic prices for Transformers stuff at this particular Book-Off. Like they had all of the Masterpiece cone heads for between $80 and $100 each, which is way the hell less than their usual going prices. They had just tons and tons of stuff, most of which was at really good prices, except for a lot of the Transformers Legends stuff, which was priced, I mean, below eBay price, but still not. This was, 5,400 yen, so about 50 US dollars. That's close to what it was. That was close to the retail price, but secondary market prices on this have been going up for forever. But I do collect leader figures, and this is, kind of a leader figure. I love the character. I love the IDW books. I thought I would be able to kind of content myself with this little thing, which Don Quixote was selling for 300 yen, either late last year or early this year. But hey, to have basically the good version of this character is great. And of course, like one of my hobbies is taking toy photos using famous Japanese scenery as backdrops. So this figure is going to look great with in front of like Mount Fuji and Kiyomizu-dera and places like that. So yeah, very excited to have just been able to find this. I absolutely loved the Transformers Legends series, but it came out at a time when I wasn't really buying a lot of new Transformers, and that was down to a bunch of different things. But like I love how the figures looked, how they transformed. The little mini comics were really cool, but I missed out on so many of them, and the prices have gone up so much over the years that I just kind of washed my hands of them and figured hopefully in the future they'll do these characters again. But yeah, for $50, this is basically a Christmas present to myself. So yeah, it was a good trip to Minato. I got Windblade. I got this little Combattler thing, which will hold me over until I can finally find the Soul of Chogokin version at a reasonable price, which by my calculation should be right fucking now. Oh, didn't see that coming, did you? No, unless you looked at the thumbnail for this video, then you probably saw it coming. But otherwise, anyway, Combattler V. I don't know shit about this character. I don't know if it is a character. I don't know if it's like a sentient robot, or if it's 5 pilots, or if there's multiple pilots. I don't know. I don't care. I just like how this figure looks. Like, this figure looks cool. And that is true of a lot of the early Soul of Chogokin figures. They look awesome. And I have a particular connection to this one, because Combattler is one of the things that in my earlier days in Kyushu, living in Japan, this is one of the things that I was able to find at like mandarake places, secondhand stores, that was reasonably inexpensive. I mean, I would pick these up for $50, and I would use them as trade bait for other stuff. I did resell a couple of them, but I was always really interested, but not enough to. I was always really interested, but not enough to keep one. But I mean, it's got that awesome 70s, 80s Japanese robot look going on. So do many of the early Soul of Chogokin figures. And if you don't know, the whole point of this line is basically to recreate the toys with certain updates. I mean, and that's not the way that like the Masterpiece Transformers pretty much bend space and time to have a figure look like a cartoon model robot and transform into a cartoon model car in 180 steps where you have to like reconfigure. These are based on the toy. So they update like the proportions, they update things like the paint and things like that without sacrificing what made the original toys what they were. So it transforms and combines very similarly to the 1970s, 1980s version. It's just things like the original version was, of course, made for young kids. So, I mean, everything had to be very thick. Everything had to be very wide. You couldn't have, tiny pieces, things like that. So, this updates the proportions, makes things, it makes it look more anime accurate, but not at the cost of still being an update to the toy that a generation of children grew up to want an updated version of. And I do know that they did another updated version of this a few years later. That one had a retail price of like $700 and can go fuck itself. That I don't know. I'm being facetious. I'm sure that the people who bought that are very, very happy with it. I have seen some YouTube reviews. But these are they're just great. I've bought a couple of Soul of Chogokin figures for myself. Over the last few years, I bought, I got Go Lion kind of as a Christmas gift right after it first came out. But I bought the Power Rangers ones. I went back and I bought the Spider-Man Leopard and last year, I think it was earlier this year, late last year, and they're great. They feel like 70s and 80s toys. They feel like you remember them feeling, and it's weird, because I have no attachment to this beyond the fact that I had them when I came to Japan, but I love how these look. I'm hoping this year, since I don't really have a whole lot of stuff in my usual collection to hunt after, I'm hoping to pick up at least a couple more of these. I'd love to get Voltes and Daitan, stuff like that. The classic robots. But yeah, I don't, because I don't know a lot about these characters or these robots, I can just enjoy them as toys, as figures, as things to fiddle with, and they do make for wonderful things to fiddle around with, because they're weighty. You can get a bunch of great poses out of them. They've got cool action stuff, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get this thing in front of my my camera and start getting some nice photography out of it, because I'm just blown away that I was finally able to add this to my collection, and at a reasonable price. It was 8,137 yen, which after tax 8,950, which $87, something like that. So I'm below the original MSRP. And I don't see anything on here saying that it's, fucked up or missing pieces or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy, getting pictures of this. I'm going to enjoy fiddling around with it. I'm going to enjoy learning about the character, which can be so much fun, to just have this thing in front of you and then go from there. But, for me, toy first. So yeah, this was one really good trip to the old Book-Off. I'm glad that I went and did this today, because I'm going to be getting a lot of enjoyment out of this over the course of the next few weeks when I am on vacation, and not drowning myself in work. So that'll be fun to see. I have been the Hobby Drifter. Thank you very much for joining me on this 22-minute video. It's always great to hear feedback from you. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, friendly criticism, please let me know down in the comments. I usually respond within a day or two, unless YouTube doesn't give me the notification. That's about it. Thank you all for joining me. Have a happy and safe holiday season, and I'll be back with more of these, more Japan retrospective videos. And since I'm hearing that people want to hear about it, more job stuff. Thank you very much, everyone, and take care.